I'm here with European royalty, European champions. Could they hijack a move for Brian Mbeumo from Manchester United? And will they get Eze before the end of the window? It's my time to catch up with George from Do-Rag Diaries about Tottenham Hotspur. This is Transfer Talk Live. Let's get into it.
Shout out to Kopish.
Shout out to Kopish, guys.
All the good work
the
up.
Two legends, Emil Heskey, Howard Gill. Can't get much better than that guy. Yeah. You know what to do now. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm with legends, guys.
Kopish.
Yes, lovely people. Hope you're all well. Do smash that like button, subscribe, and make sure you click the link in the title, which will take you to Do-Rag Diaries, and subscribe there as well. George, my bro. Obviously, we've both been celebrating for the last few weeks. How you doing?
No, I've been well, man. I've been good. Like you said, it's nice to just be on a panel with someone that can speak the same language as me. You know, we understand each other very clearly because there's a lot of guys. Whenever we're on the 12th man together, a lot of things get blurred. They're not really understanding what we're saying. When we say things with conviction now, we got chest, and it just doesn't compute for certain people. So no, thank you for having me. Good to finally make my debut on Kop-Ish. Make sure everyone smash the like on your way in. But yeah, no, feeling good right now, man. I just said a couple weeks of celebration. It's only been a month. It's only been a month since we won, so still not that long. Still in a good mood.
Indeed. Big up to KG who just raided the stream as well. Big up to everyone who's joined from KG's stream. Bro, we've got to start off with manager. Obviously, Ange secured his and your club the European trophy. He guaranteed it. He delivered. However, he has been sacked. We've spoken about this on 12th Man, so I won't go into too much detail. I agree with the decision. I'm sure you do as well. I know Sava did, for example. How are you feeling about Thomas Frank, and what are you expecting from him over the next year or so?
Well, for me, look, like you said there, I think Ange Postecoglou deserved to be sacked. So there wasn't really too much on that. Like, I always maintained I want him to win the Europa League, but after a week after the Europa League, I want him gone. Like, have your celebrations, have your moment, but we need to move on. With the Thomas Frank appointment, at first, it took me a while to really grow into it, like to really start to accept that this is our new manager. And to be fair, I'm not mad at it. I obviously wanted a higher caliber manager. I went on record to say quite a few times, bring me Inzaghi, bring me Xavi, bring me someone who's been at the top level. But sometimes, like many people have said, I think Spurs' best type of managers always have been a pure coach, someone that's up and coming, someone that's a coach, someone that probably hasn't been at the top level yet, but is ready to build and really go through a process of taking a team on a journey. So for me, when I look at this Thomas Frank move, it's a good one. It's a good coach, good manager. He's had a good time at Brentford. I don't think he's overachieved with Brentford. I think he's done what he can. And to be fair, when you look at the stats, like how much money they've spent compared to their league position or something like that, or points won, they've been one of the best teams from like wages wise and so on. So he's managed to work with a team that's consistently lost their best players, whether that be Raya, Tony, Benarama before, Watkins. They've just consistently lost their best players, and he still manages to turn it around and make the best of what he's got. So I'm looking forward to it. The next year of him is going to be, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be all uphill. I expect there is going to be a few bumps on the road. The one thing I like about him is his tactical adaptability, being able to play multiple systems, being able to not just see, what we saw with Ange was so rigid, like for the past year and a half. When we're losing, we know what's going to happen. When we're winning, we know what's like. Just watching Tottenham, you know exactly how they're going to set up, how they're going to play. But with Frank, it's refreshing. We go into games and we know, look, he's going to change things mid-games. If he sees something he doesn't like, he's actually going to act on it. So I'm looking forward to that side of things. And we've got a young team. We've got a proper young team of a lot of young players that are coming through right around. Mikey Moore, Lucas Bergvall, Archie Gray, even players like Udogi. Kulusevski's still like 24. We've got a lot of players at those ages that are primed to really just have a coach take them to the next level and really work with them. And that's what I think he'll be here to do. So I'm looking forward to seeing that, man, the player development and really Tottenham taking a step forward back to where we was a few years ago. Because although we have won the Europa League, and like I said, we had a great season on that side, I think it was successful. But 17th, man. Come on.
Yeah,
It's so different. Like, I've never seen my team lose 20 games in a season.
Yeah.
I'm just watching us going into games thinking we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose. It was depressing. It was depressing, yeah.
I hear it. I echo your sentiments regarding player development, and I think Frank's got a very good track record in that. You look at someone like Ivan Toney, you look at Damsgaard, Norgard, you look at Wieser, you look at Mbeumo, who we're going to speak about shortly as well. I think this screams of a signing more like a Poch than an Ange, and he has got pressure on him. But do you think he's got as much pressure given that you've now won this trophy and you've got that that monkey off your back? Do you think he comes in and has less pressure than, say, the past managers like Poch, Mourinho, Conte?
Yeah, no, do you know what? I would actually liken this to when we got Harry Redknapp. That's what I think. It's very similar to when we got Harry Redknapp. Like, at that time, we just won a trophy. We got rid of like a 10-year drought or something like that, 9 years. And it was a bit refreshing where he could come in and just look at the team, take a blank spell and be like, look, this is how we're going to work. We're going to build something different. And I think he had that chance too. We won the trophy, so there's no more 17 years or whatever it is. It's straight, fresh. If Spurs don't win the trophy next year, it's not a big deal. Like, no one's going to be off his back. Now, there is also that side of things that we've tasted blood. I need it again. Like, we're hungry. Like, we're even hungry for more. So probably by the second season, he is going to have that pressure that Ange won in his second season. He got sacked for it. A lot of will be, especially, let's just say he doesn't have an amazing first year. That's the pressure that's going to be on a lot of the people that wanted Ange to stay, are going to put that pressure on him. So in his first season, I don't think he's going to have too much pressure as long as he does what is expected of him, which is finish within a European place. Like, I would say for me, early, without even seeing the team that we're going to build throughout the transfer window, top 6 is minimum expectation. That's what it is. As me as a Tottenham fan, my whole life, I've seen us finishing within the top 6. That's just what I expect, bare minimum. So when he comes into us, that's what we're going to expect, and let's see if he can achieve it. If he doesn't, then we can obviously evaluate the season for what it is, see how it's going to go in the second year. But I don't think he's going to be too much pressure within the first season that he's got a chance of getting sacked. Like, he'd have to be dreadful to even get sacked.
I hear it. Right. So far, you've signed Kota Takai, just been made official recently by Fabrizio on his Instagram. Also, if I'm not mistaken, you've secured these signings on Matthias Tell now as well. Yep. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg's gone. Fraser Forster, Reguilon, I still didn't even know he was at the club, but he's gone now officially. In terms of how the window's shaping up so far, obviously you've been linked with Bryan Mbeumo, who looked as though he was nailed on to go to Man United, but looking at the relationship he's got with Frank, that's thrown a spanner in the works. And obviously you've been linked with Eze. Let's start with Mbeumo. Do you think there's a chance you can hijack this deal? And if so, how does he fit into your plans and squad-wise?
Do you know what? Yeah, I'd love all last week when we see the news of the Hijack, I was running up and Mbeumo. Yeah, the Hijack's happening. He's coming to Spurs. Thomas Franks made the call, but I saw the news yesterday. It sort of broke my heart, man. It said, I don't know who put it out. It might be a Fabrizio, it might have been Ornstein. Someone put out saying Man United have put the second bid in. It's been confirmed. And he's still got a priority for Manchester United. So I'm sort of at the point, and especially because I saw the links to Semenyo heating up a bit more last week. I think Tottenham have accepted that Mbeumo's probably Man United's preferred option. I can't really do much about it. I think it would have been perfect within the Spurs team, being on that right-hand side, also being able to come into the middle as a sort of second striker of some sorts. He's a goal scorer, man. We saw just last season, 20 goals for a team like Brentford, plus the assists. The assist, like, he was just doing everything. Like, the team was Mbeumo, Wissa, scoring every single goal, being involved in every chance creation. So, I'm not gonna lie, I'm a bit worried. Man United are building something over there that I don't like. Cunha and Mbeumo on the left forward and right forward on the Amrim is dangerous. And if they get a good striker to piece that together, then it's gonna be tricky. But for Spurs, so far, Kota Takai, can't say I know anything about him. I think this is probably one of those signings where Spurs are just looking to secure someone within that market. We've already got the young staff. I forgot his name. He's on the right. He's got a right winger. We signed him last season from South Korea, and then he was supposed to be one of the best up and coming players. Now this Kota Takai, from what I've seen, is supposed to be one of the top under 21s coming out of there. So he looks like he could be a decent player. I have heard that he's actually going to be involved within the first team. Like, the expectation is that he's going to stay. be maybe a second or maybe a third option, I'd imagine. Maybe probably not second, but a third or fourth option at the back behind Van de Ven and whoever's going to be behind Van de Ven. I think Ben Davies will likely be there. So, yeah, no, I think we need to start making moves. But I'm a bit calm about it. Like, we just won a trophy. I'm generally so calm by it. Like, a lot of people are trying to get that adrenaline rush. Like, I need a transfer window. I need a signing early. You see that with some Arsenal fans. Like, yourself, like, you've been living life. I've been saying, Liverpool fans.
I'm outside now, innit? I'm outside.
Yeah, like really outside. Like, yeah, they've been living a different type of life because you guys have won the league and straight after it was Verts. Straight after that, Kirkes, Frimpong. And then you're still making moves. We're hearing about some other mad things that could still go on. And it's nice, but at the same time, I know that the transfer window's just opened. We can actually start to sign players in a month's time, and it probably won't make too much of a difference. We don't go on our preseason tours till the end of July. So the way I see it is like, as long as we get players in before the preseason tour, that's when I'll be concerned. If we're starting to delay and it's going into August, we've signed no big players, my concern is really going to start heating up. But at the moment, I'm a bit calm about it. We're looking at some targets. I think you're probably going to see once one move happens, like in Mbeumo and someone else, that's when it's going to see all the other moves trigger because teams start to panic. They start to realize we need to get our signings and our top targets in. So I'm a bit calm about it at the moment, but we definitely need to start making moves soon.
I hear it. Guys, smash that like button if you haven't already. Subscribe to George's channel. Also, big up to Enz as well for the raid, the Nunes raid, as he likes to call it. Big up to everyone in the chat. Right, going to look at your squad at the moment and look at what you need before we speak about Eze. Yeah. So currently, you've got Vicario in goal. Your other goalkeeper, Fraser Forster's gone, and you've got Anton in as well. Yeah. And Brandon Augustus, is it?
Brandon Austin.
Brandon Austin, sorry. Do you see any more movement in the goalkeeper area, or are you happy with that for now?
Do you know what? I have actually seen some links saying about Vicario may not be wanted, or Tottenham may be looking to move him on. I doubt that would be the case. Vicario is part of the leadership team at Tottenham, although there may be a change with Thomas Frank, but for me, from what I've seen of him, I've got no concerns about him as a goalkeeper. Still really young. I think he's like 25, 26. He's got years, man. Like, you let him build, let him grow, he's going to be a good goalkeeper. There's a few worries about his catching ability and so on, but I don't think there'll be any movement. Kinski is just 21 or 22, and we obviously only signed him in January. Plus, we have a goalkeeper that was playing for Leyton Orient last season and had, I think, he won the goalkeeper of the season in League One. Like, going up, he had a really, really strong year. So he probably won't come back into the fold as of yet, but he'll probably go back out on loan to a bigger team. And we've got players around, basically. So I don't think there'll be any movement in goal.
Fairs. At centre-back, you've got Danzo, you've got Dragusin, you've got Romero, who's also been linked to a move away. So I'd love to hear your thoughts on that. And obviously, you've got Van der Ven as well, who has suffered with injuries. Ben Davies can also fill in there. Obviously, I'm sure you'd rather him not play there. Yeah. Do you see anyone from centre-back coming into Spurs, apart from the new signing?
Kota Takai. So yeah, we've actually, now he's signed, we've got 9 centre-backs on the board because we have players like Ashley Phillips coming back from loan, Luka Viskovic, who's one of the top young players supposed to be in Europe.
Viskovic actually very good, actually.
He looks very good, really good. So I think he'll be in and around the first team, but I still expect to see Romero go. I'm not going to lie. I've seen reports that Diego Simeone come out, quite frankly. He said when he was asked, does he like to sign Romero? He said, yeah, of course. Romero's a great player. Like, he come out, quite frankly, and said that he wants Romero. And I can see that deal happening if they're willing to pay the money, because I think the word is that Spurs want 60 to 70 million, which I think is a fair price. I don't think it's a bad price. When you're talking about a player that's World Cup winner, like what he's done for Argentina plus Tottenham, and his age, still only like 25, 26, not an old player as well. So I think if they pay the money, he will likely go, and Spurs will look to bring in another centre-back, I think. But I wouldn't be mad if we look to keep Danso and maybe see what Danso can do as a first-team option next to Van de Ven, because he's similar to Romero. He can carry the ball pretty well, maybe not as... I don't think he has the performance level, but I think if you let him play throughout a season, you may see him improve. Because again, a young player under a new coach in a better system. Because I think what people fail to realize is Romero suffered to the system. A lot of players suffered to the system under Ange, especially that defensive structure was non-existent. Pedro Porro Udogie had a great first year, and in his second year just looked a bit of a mess. under Frank, I think some of these centre backs could improve, but I do expect to see some movement. I think Frank will look to bring in one of his own players over there, someone that he can rely on. I think he'll want to play like,
maybe.
Pardon?
Maybe Collins, maybe.
Yeah, that's exactly like a Collins, because he, again, a young player. He's still got some improvement there. Not maybe a 10 out of 10 performer, but I'll give you a solid 7 every game. Like a Gahey as well. Like if I didn't see links to you guys, I think I would have expected Tottenham to be linked with him.
Chill.
Obviously, chill. Well, once you guys come into the conversation,
you know how this goes. You know how the things go, bro.
We start to take a seat back when that happens. So there's no hijack on that side of things. But yeah, no. I think there will be some movement at centre back pending Romero's potential move away.
Cool. At fullback, you've got a player that I rate extremely high in Jed Spence. You've got Porro, as you said. You've got Udogie, Ben Davies as well. Fullback side of things, do you expect any movement there, or are you happy with what you've got there, or do you think the club will look to invest?
The players we got, I think a lot of people underrate a lot of like the players we got in those positions. I think Udogie's got a lot of upside to him. Pedro Porro as well. He has obviously his good days and his bad days. Great going forward, a bit messy at the back, but I think in the right system again, you could see him really go to the next level. Jed Spence, another good option to have, especially with the system Frank's going to playing with wing backs. He'll probably get a lot more space running on the outside, and that's what he prefers. He likes to get that space and bomb down the wing. But I do expect us to sign someone else. I think Ben Davies, we've been using him more as a centre-back, and he has been more of a centre-back for the last 4 or 5 years since Mourinho sort of and Conte shifted him inside in a back three. So I'd expect us to sign a left-back, but a backup left-back. So I've seen links to like Carl Walker-Peters to come back to Spurs on a free transfer. And we have homegrown issues. We need to fulfill our Champions League squad, we've got to get some club trained players. So I think it's likely we'll probably go for a move like that. We've also looked at the Sunderland left back, Dennis Serkin, another Tottenham Academy player. I think we'll probably look at doing something like that just to be a backup. They probably, and Spence can play both sides. So it's one of those ones. Spence is the preferred option to play either side anyway. And then that player will probably just come in if they're both playing.
Spence was, I was quite vocal. Spence was my first choice to replace Trent when we knew Trent was leaving. Do you think Spence can oust Porro out of the starting 11 though? Because Porro is a very good right back as well, especially going forward. Defensively, up and down sometimes. Spence for me is a better all-rounder, but Porro definitely, in my opinion, is better going forward. Do you think Spence can nail down his position now and make it his own?
It's tough. It's tough. Like you say there, for me, it's like when I look at Pedro Porro, going forward, like I prefer Spence because he's on the ball, he runs, he dribbles, he's a bit more like ruthless. He's a proper fullback, whereas Pedro Porro is like is more similar to Trent in the style that he's like a central midfielder playing in fullback. His passing is the best thing that he has about his game, and he makes some unreal pass. I think when he come into the leagues, he's got like the most G8 from fullback from ahead of everyone. Yeah. So it's hard to push a player out who creates so much at times, and he's been Tottenham's prime creator when there's no Maddison in the team or no Kulusevski. So it's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. I think it depends what Frank wants from his fullbacks. That will depend how he uses Pedro Porro or Jed Spence. But I think Spence will, knowing him, he'll want to get into that first team and be that first choice within the next season or two, or he'll look to make his move away, because I don't think he'll be happy sitting on the bench, even though he'll be getting a lot of minutes, just being a bench player for as long as 3 or 4 seasons. Like, I think he'll want to eventually get his chance in the Spurs shirt.
I hear it. Into midfield now, you've got Basuma, Maddison, Lucas Bergvall, who got the winner against us in the League Cup game at your place. Who else we got? You got Sarr. Is the midfield, is it a bit short? You got Archie Gray as well.
Do you know what? I don't think we're short. I think we're short on quality. Because like I said there, we've got Gray, we've got Sarr, we've got Basuma, Bergvall, Bentancur. They're 5 players that all play in. And they're just players that play in the 8 and the 6, not even in the 10. Because in the 10, we've got Kulu and Madders. So I think the quality problem is the issue. We got a lot of players that are all at a similar level, but not a good enough level. Bergvall and Archie Gray, young. Bergvall's the standout to me out of all of them. Like Bentancur, Bergvall are the ones that I'd say would definitely stay under Frank, or I would look to keep. Obviously, Archie Gray as well. Sarr and Basuma could potentially see their way out of Spurs. I think Sarr is a really good player. He has... I think he's suffered playing under a lot of managers at Tottenham, not really finding himself, not really having one position to be nailed down, because every single manager's used him in a different way. Conte used him as a 6 When Mason coming in, he was playing more of a hybrid 8. And then under Ange, he started off as an 8, but then played in the 10. Sort of doing just a high pressing, just being our pressing guy, sort of what Szoboszlai does, just being the bulldog running everywhere, not really having much of a role in the team. So I think it depends where Sar's going to be used next season. It depends on his long-term future at Tottenham, but we definitely need improvement. We need a number 6. I think I've seen reports saying Frank identified that the first 2 signings he wanted or main players was a 6 and a winger. I agree with that. So I think if we can bring in a 6 with Norgard,
I was going to ask what players are you looking at? If I was to ask for a couple of names, who would be your preferred choices?
I think Norgard would be an option just because it's familiar for him. It's someone who he's used to. He can play at a good level. I think he could slot into that role, but he's obviously not a long-term option. But for a player that can come in for the season or for the next 2 years, let's just say, and then Archie Gray builds up and comes through as the backup option, that's what I could accept. Away from that, the 6 is a tough one because I feel like depending on the system and how you want to use the 6 depends on what 6 you need, innit? Because you can get someone who's more of just like a Paulinho. He's available, who's just going to tackle, break down the play, but not that good on the ball. But he may want to bring someone in that's more of a, a system, a pace setter who's just going to pass the ball around, move the ball and control the game. So I think it depends on what Frank needs from his CDM on who we should sign. But a Paulinho would be a good player if we could bring him in because I don't think we have Mbeumo who's similar to him but doesn't play at the same level. And then apart from that, I think Norgard would be a good option for us.
What do you think it is with Mbeumo? Because I'll be honest, Mbeumo is someone that I look at, especially when he was at Brighton, he had everything. Pace, dribbling, great tackling. He had a really good shot on him. He could dictate a game. What do you think has just not clicked for Mbeumo over the last year or two?
I can't lie. I think Mbeumo loves the lifestyle too much.
How is it?
I think I generally thought he bought into his sauce a bit too much. Like you see Mbeumo, even he's a sub and he'll be on Instagram live after the games, like on the bench, like not on the bench, on the team bus, making bear noise, dancing. Like he's just one of those He's a life of the team. Probably enjoys being a part of Tottenham too much and doesn't actually get down to the nitty gritty of focusing and playing good because he'll have a good game here and there. He has had some good performances this season, but his consistency was just way off. And I'll be honest, I've been willing to get rid of Mbeumo since last season. Like he's had I think he's in his 3rd season in Tottenham. We signed him under Conte. He had a bad year under Conte. Just never really settled in. And everyone said it was because of the system. And then again, coming under Ange, they said it was because of the system. I don't think it's a system issue. I generally think just Mbeumo's not good enough for Tottenham. And his level probably is a team similar to what Brighton is. If he goes back to even if he went to Brentford or something like that, I think he'd perform good. You'd probably see him play better. But at Tottenham, he doesn't perform at a required level, man.
Yeah, I hear it. The 2 10s you mentioned, Kulusevski and Madders, both high-quality footballers. However, injuries, especially with Maddison, have taken their toll. Do you obviously spoke about the homegrown? Madders may be given a lifeline because of that. Kulusevski, in my opinion, is probably the better player of the 2 at the moment as things stand. Do you see any movement in that number 10 position, or do you think Frank will stick with those 2?
Spurs are looking at Eze, man. I think Eze's the number 1 target for Tottenham right now. If we bring in a player like Eze and a Semenyo or someone like that, I'd be really impressed. I think the number 10 role is a tricky one because again, I've people know me. I'm a Kulu stan, man. I love Kulu. I think he's the guy to take us forward, especially in that number 10 position. What he does carrying the ball is he drives through teams like unstoppable sometimes. He just needs to improve his final end product. Like his shooting isn't as clinical as you need it to be. His decision making is a bit slow sometimes. I think he could just do a bit better with his passing once he gets to the edge of the box. It's just that's what he's missing. Whereas Maddison has that part about his game that's better, and he's so clean with that. He knows when to shoot. He knows, and even so, I think Maddison. I've gotten to Maddison a lot this season. I said he's not performed at the required level. But again, I think if he under Frank, he could become a better player. We saw what he done for Damsgaard. I think Maddison could take up a similar role. I want Eze, and I want a player like Eze that can come in, play off the left, play in the center, give us an option. And then I'm not being funny. Madders and Kulu just got to battle out for it. I think the thing with Kulu, he obviously had a big injury at the end of the season, had surgery. Don't think he's going to be available till around November.
Or wow, that bad.
Yeah. I think it was an ACL. It may have been an ACL or something. It was a pretty bad injury. It was a really bad injury.
Wow.
So he's probably going to be out to around, I think, November, maybe October. And so I think we'll look to sign someone. And then when he comes back, the thing is with Kulu, he can play off the right as well as in the middle. So he's all right. Like he's always going to find himself minutes. Whereas Madders is just stuck to that number 10 position, really. So he's just going to limit himself in that way.
Well, could it be a thing where Eze, if he was to come in, would play in a 10 and then you'd play Kulu off the right? And then we're speaking about wingers now. Do you think you need to bring in a Semenyo, or is there a different profile of winger you'd prefer? Because you've obviously signed Matthias Tell now as well.
Yeah. I think we need someone that can play off of right and the left side. That's why I like Semenyo. I think Semenyo is a good option. He's primed to go to another team. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's as good as Mbeumo. Mbeumo's a bit more cleaner with the final third product, and he's just a bit more ruthless. But Semenyo still has that dog in him. Like he's like a way better version of Traore. Like he'll score more goals, get more assists, but he bulldozes down the side. And in a team that will be in a transition quite often, which I think we will be under Frank, and he could probably utilize Semenyo in a good way as a second striker. Just have him up high and wide and just get that ball out to him, and he's just going to run with it. So I think we could use him. If it's not him, a player like Kudus, I really like Kudus, man. I think Kudus could be a good option. But again, I think Eze, because he's similar to Kudus, and he could play off the left and play off the center. And like you said, people are saying we've already signed Tell. And a lot of people got onto Tell last year. A lot of people are saying he's not good, he's not this. I can see a player in him. I really do see a player there. I think he's got a lot of quality. He's a player that just needs to find that goal scoring touch, and once he's got the confidence, I think you'll see him play. Because I watched him for under 21s for France, and even the other day he had a really good game. Him and Odebert, they're two players that I'm really impressed with. But I think we need first team players for those two to come in and have bench appearances and so on.
Do you think Mikey will get some chances this season?
I'd like to see him go out on loan. I think that he would be good to go out on a loan to like a German club, a European club. I don't want to see him go out to a Championship or League One loan, because I think far too often, especially for our club, we send these players out to Championship, League One. They don't ever prepare themselves for the Premier League. They don't know what it's like to be in a different environment. You know, like Spence said it himself. He had to go to a different country, uproot himself. He's staying there all by himself. It's a whole different experience. You become a man essentially, because you're a young player. You have to do it all by yourself. You're not comfortable around having your mom and your dad and all these people to like rely on and back up. You're in the country all by yourself. You're going to training, you're going home, you're going to training. All you can do is focus on the football. So I want him to go abroad and get a good European, maybe even a Conference League club, a Europa League club, because he can play at that level. We saw it last season. Spurs need to find the right loan from him where he can get a lot of game time, because I think that's the key thing. Is he's not going to get that much game time at Spurs this year, but if he gets a good loan, that will help him grow way more.
Fair dues. And then finally, striker situation. Solanke and Richarlison. Not the greatest.
Yeah, man, it's not. I've always thought that we do need someone to come in up there, like
and Solanke, Son as well. Sorry, Son as well.
Yeah. Son looks like he could be moved on. I have seen a lot of news outlets saying Tottenham are open to selling. Saudi clubs are coming in for him. But the thing is with his one is we've got a North London derby in the South Korea, like the 5th of August or something like that. So you already know marketing stuff. So it's come out and said that Son has to play that game. And I get it. Like, it makes sense. If all these companies are paying millions, they need to see top player like Son there. So I think that deal, if it does happen, will probably be later on in the window. I don't think Frank will see and use Son as a proper player next season.
He signed a contract extension as well with you, right?
Yeah. He's got like a 1 year. I think his contract runs out next season, but he's got another. Oh no, he had his 1 year option this year. It was supposed to end out this year, and he activated the 1 year clause. So I think for that he'll probably move on. Solanke, we definitely need someone to come in up top. I don't think Solanke is. You need him to have a competition with someone else. So when he's not performing, someone else can come in. But obviously, Tell could be used as a striker. I think Brennan Johnson may be able to be used as a striker in this system. I think he'll be able to get a few more goals. But that's just not good enough for me. You know, we're playing Champions League next year. I need someone.
You selling Richarlison if you can?
Yeah, get Richarlison. Come on. I don't like Richarlison, man. Like I have fun with Richarlison because he's one of those players, pure passion for the badge. You can't ever get onto. Like, whenever he's playing, he's giving his full heart on the pitch. But away from that, it's just not good enough for me, man. Like, watching him, he's not a footballer. Like, he's falling over himself. He's tripping up. His first touches all over the place. Most of his goals are headers. Like, it's just not good enough for me. So I think we need to bring in someone, but I don't know don't know if Spurs will. If we're going to sign a player like Eze and a Semenyo, then Tottenham aren't going to bring in another striker. I could see we're going to have to work with Solanke. But I think you guys know what you had Solanke when he was young. Solanke's a good player.
But yeah,
he
just
struggles in front of goals sometimes. I think he needs confidence, and just it's that clinical part of it. He doesn't have that instinct to just turn and shoot sometimes, and that's what he's missing. But I think he'll get goals. He'll get a lot more goals under Frank. He scored 16 in all competitions last season, or 15, which isn't terrible. But if he can get 15 or 16 in the Prem, then we're like, all right, this is what we need from our striker. It is decent return, and then you've got the other players chipping in it. It'll work out.
So if I was to say to you right now, you could pick a striker, who would it be and why?
It's a good question, you know, because I've always thought we need someone to come in and compete with him. And now I'm thinking, I'm like, because I'm trying to think of the level of striker, because Spurs, I don't see us spending another 60 to 70 million on something. I feel like it's going to have to be a smart signing, someone who comes in on a cheap of some sorts, maybe a 30 or 40 million pounds. I don't know, you know, I don't have a player in mind. Like, because I just know that I know my club. I know my club. I can dream and start naming some strikers that I'd like. But I know if we just spent 65 last season, we're not going to spend another 60 on another striker. It's just like, that's not Tottenham. Maybe if we can get someone for 30 million or so, yeah, like I say, it could work out. But I don't know. I generally don't know who can come in and fill that hole. Wissa could be an option. Like that could be another one. Wissa could be a good option. He's a bit older. He'd probably be willing to come in and be competition. But I don't know. For me and Wissa, I don't know if he would do so well against low blocks, because he pops up a lot of his goals. He's popping up in transition. He's popping up on the edge of the box. He's one of those box crasher type of strikers. He likes to find the ball in good areas. But I don't know in a low block if he's going to wait. He could do, but I don't know. I have some questions.
I hear it. I think Wissa's the one that's kind of going under the radar this summer. I'm very interested to see if Brentford are able to hang on to him. I'm also intrigued to see what Brentford do in replacing Mbeumo, because when they lost Tony, I think a lot of people thought they'd fall away, and they kind of grew in his absence. So obviously there's no Frank there now, so I'm intrigued. But if I was to put you on the spot and say, how many players do you think you'll sign between now and the end of the summer? How many do you think on top of what you signed already?
So we got 2 already. I can see this being maybe a 6-player window, I think, in total. So another 4 signings. I could see two bigger signings coming in. Like I say, whether it's a Semenyo and a Eze at that type of level. There may be 2 smart signings, someone like, I say, a Norgard, and then maybe a centre-back. I could see that happening. Maybe if we do make another signing, it will probably be, you know, an up-and-coming prospect or someone just to fill in the squad. Maybe like a KWP on a free or something like that. Someone that. So it could go to 7, but I expect 6 to 7 players to come in, especially because we got quite a few going out as well. So
here's a question: Mickey M, Jonathan David on a free, would you do it?
As an option to come in and compete with Solanke, I think he's decent. I do have some questions regarding he didn't have his best season last year. He had a good season a few years ago, and that's when we were looking at him. But I don't know, Jonathan David, man. Like I've got a lot of questions why no one's picked him up. Like, why is he not?
I was just gonna say it's weird, isn't it? It is weird.
His name's always linked with everyone. Every summer has been linked with a move away, but no one's ever bid for him. And now he's available on a free. He's still not got a club. I'm sure he will probably get a club real soon, but I'm not being funny. His contract's up in a week. Like, he should have already found a club or someone to pick him up.
I agree. But George, before I let you go, bro, tell the people where they can find and support you, my bro.
Yeah, man. Do-Rag Diaries. I would say I've got I do have consistent videos nowadays, but I don't know. The live times. We're live when we're live, innit? Just tap the post notification bell to know when we are going to go live, because we have some shows that are consistent, some shows that just pop up when they do. But today we got plenty coming up, man. I got like 3 live shows, so keep an eye out for that. But Do-Rag Diaries on YouTube, TikTok, and on Twitter, I'm sure, for JORDS if you want to catch me on there. But yeah, man. Big up for having me on. Make sure you smash the like, people. And yeah, man, good debut. Good to finally be on the channel.
No, it's a pleasure having you on. People, do smash that like button if you haven't already. There will be another video dropping later with Rich from Eagle Eye Football as we speak about Gahey. A short video just to delve into the aspects of the potential signing, his attributes, and what he could bring to Liverpool. George, once again, pleasure having you on, bro. It won't be the last time as well, man. And going to be on your channel as well. So looking forward to that as well, my bro.
Oh, good. Look,
nice. People, smash that like button. Thank all for watching, listening. Till we see you again. Stay safe, stay blessed with Kopish. Right, people. Take care.